Welcome back, everybody. We're still here working on some Savas. Maybe yours first time, or maybe you haven't been working on it. So let me help you out with this problem. This is the fourth problem I assigned on this lesson for you. It is lesson 7-3, trigonometry, and we are looking for the sine when we know the cosine is 3/7. So I think on this one, I would not necessarily worry about using your unit circle because we can do this just from a plain old right triangle. So remember, we know cosine being 3/7. So you got your alpha in there for the angle. So 3 is the smaller side, 7 is the bigger of the two. Cosine, remember this is adjacent over hypotenuse, ka. So ka, toa. So adjacent over hypotenuse, that would mean this is 3 is adjacent to this angle. So my alpha is in there. All right. And if we need to do, we're looking for the sine. So sine, oh, I just labeled that wrong. Cosine, I said cosine 7 was a hypotenuse, and then I put it on the opposite side. Let's fix that. Sorry about that. Anybody was watching that saying, wait a minute, you were so right. All right, so my hypotenuse is 7 right here. So my hypotenuse is over there. It's always on the longest side, put my right angle in there. So for finding the sine, I need the opposite over the hypotenuse. So right triangle, just a little Pythagorean theorem. Sum of the square of the legs equals the square of the hypotenuse. So I've got my 3 squared plus my b squared equals the 7 squared. Hypotenuse, remember this is always the hypotenuse over here. So 9 plus my b squared equals 49. Subtract 49 from both sides. And that'll give me a 40 square root both sides. Square root both sides. And we will have square root of 40, that 40 being 4 times 10. Whoops, 4 times 10. So square root of 4 we get out as a 2. Square root of 10 has no perfect squares in it. Just to simplify it in radical form there. So 2 square root of 10 here would be this opposite side. There's my hypotenuse. And from the alpha, this was the adjacent side. And we're supposed to get sine. So opposite here, 2 square root of 10 over my hypotenuse, 7. So let's check that and see how we did. 2 square root of 10 over 7. 2, need a fraction. 2, then I need a square root, I need my 10 in there. Whoa, I got a 21. Where'd that 1 come from? Fat fingers typing, I think. All right, so we've got a 7 down here. 2 square root of 10 over 7, that's what I said I should have. And it doesn't like it. Simplify your answer, type an exact answer, use radicals as needed. Oh boy. One thing I might consider is maybe they didn't simplify this 40. Let's see. 3 squared was definitely 9. B squared, 7 squared is 49. Type an exact answer. Well, I feel pretty good about that answer we came up with. So let's just check and see if they didn't take that 2 out of there. That would be subtract 9 from the 49, we'd have 40. Square root of 40, 4 times 10 is 40, square root of 4. I'm not sure. Let's see if I put it that way. Well, all right, folks, we're going to go back to the drawing board here. Start from the top. See, I'm not seeing my mistake. Sometimes when I have a mistake like that, I just don't see it. And so the only way for me to get it is to start from scratch and go a little quicker this time, not explain everything, but let's take everything out of here and make the video a little longer. But I don't mind you guys seeing that sometimes somebody that's supposed to know what they're doing might make a mistake too. So don't feel bad if you have a mistake in there sometimes. Again, I've got my right triangle. it said the cosine, which was cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, ka. So adjacent, I'll go from this angle. 3, hypotenuse 7. I don't know that side. So 3 squared plus x squared equals 7 squared. 7 squared is 49. I'm pretty sure on that. And 3 squared is 9. I'm getting right back where we were before. Subtract the 9 from both sides. X squared being 40. So then when you square root both sides to get a plain x, we're going to have the square root of 40, which, yeah, that's the square root of 4 times the square root of 10 and the square root of, I'm still at my 2 square root of 10 so far. All right. We'll not give up. I keep telling you guys, don't give up. Let's not give up. And we're looking for sine. So it's opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite side there. 2 square root of 10. 2 square root of 10 over hypotenuse 7. I thought that's what I typed in. Or my last answer, 2 square root of 10 over 7. And it said, simplify your answer. 2 and 7, don't reduce or simplify. Type an exact answer, use radicals as needed. The next thing that I would do, and some of you have watched you do this before too, is if we look at the view an example, but a square root in the numerator, a 2 square root of 7, and in the denominator, oh, I'm sorry, 2 square root of 10. Maybe I did something like that the last time, over the 7. Nope. Your answer, oh, it was a negative. I must not have read the whole original problem. It's in quadrant 4. Oh boy. Okay, let's try a similar question. I'll show you what I did wrong. I didn't even read that part of it. I need to read the full question. Another example of when it says, all right, so we are in quadrant 4 again. This time, read the question. Anyway, I'm not going to explain all the other parts that we did in quadrant 4, and we're talking about sine. So remember, sine is negative down here. We're looking for cosine this time. So cosine is x, that's positive. So sine, the sine being, remember, opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite over here 4, hypotenuse 11, and we'll call that the x, but I would have not had to worry about this one because the cosine is going to be positive here in quadrant 4. So let's see, x squared plus 4 squared equals the 11 squared. When we go to cosine, remember that's adjacent over hypotenuse. And so we're looking for the adjacent right now. 121 here, 16, subtract the 16 to the other side. That's going to give us 105 being the x squared. Square root that. And we will have the square root of 105. Let's see, 105. Is there any perfect squares in there? 5 goes into there, 20. I don't think there are because that's no perfect squares. So that's just going to be the square root of 105 right here for the x. And so when we're doing cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse, there's my adjacent to my angle. Square root of 105 over hypotenuse 11. So, all right, let's put that in. If you watch this whole thing, again, I still don't mind you seeing me make a mistake too. That happens, but just keep after it. Watch what you did. And boy, when you make a mistake, sometimes you can have your best learning at those moments. So as long as you don't give up, keep after it. Oh, how many times have you heard me say those words? Just keep trying. Read it, look at it, find your answer, show me an example, look at the solution when you're done. Nice work. That's what I'm saying when you keep after it and you finally figure it out. Feels so good. All right. There you go, everybody. Thanks for bearing with me on that. Sorry about showing you and taking a little longer there than we should have, but you get it. Have a great day.